Yo, Connor, I wanted to be a great person. Welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be showing you the macro that I use and my kind of team setup I use in order to solo it and both get to wave 50 like 95% of the time. Starting off with a team in your first slot, you're going to have a hybrid unit on placement. Siren or Dark Mage works. I prefer using Siren. In your second slot, you're going to have a DPS unit. It can really be any unit you want, but I recommend it being full AoE and ideally hybrid. In your third slot, you're gonna want a unit that gives you a 40% like drop buff and star buff. So that's also gonna be ground. So you have a few options. It can be a few mythic units with skins. Then you have like Grimjow as well as Cream. And then in your fourth slot, you can have a unit that either gives you a 20% or higher buff. That's also going to need to be a ground unit. Air units will not work whatsoever for this. So keep that in mind. That's why we have to use a hybrid unit in the first slot. And with that said, I want to go over real quickly some of the settings you need. Your Roblox setting, you want to make sure your movement mode is set to default keyboard. Your graphics, you're going to want to turn it down to the very minimum. And then at full screen, you're going to want to turn that off. All right, and for in-game settings, what you're going to want to do is make sure that to scroll down the gameplay and then show unit UI. Make sure you turn that on. I also recommend turning off VFX just because you don't want to probably deep fry your PC. All right, now what you're going to do is go to AutoHotkey.com. A link will be in the description. You're going to click the green download link. You're going to download the V2 version. You should get this pop-up, and then you should open this up. And you can see I did have it, but double click on it in your files, and it'll take a second, but after a while, it should download. This will pop up after a while, and you're just going to click install. It should ask you if you want to make changes. You're going to say yes. And then after a second, this should pop up. And once this pops up, you're good to go. You can close out of this. And then you're going to go over to the second link that I have in the description. And it should be this. It should say Winter Macro Solo Matchmaking. What you're going to do is you're going to click on this green button, download the zip file, then open this up, and then you're going to right click on it, and then you're going to do extract all. So there you have it downloaded. Let's have to replace it. I'll say yes. And once you have it extracted, you should get this folder down here, and then you can delete the zip file. And then the folder you should have, it should be called Winter Macro Solo Matchmaking. So you're going to want to open it, go into here, and then what you're looking for is this right here, which should be called Macro AutoHotkey. Then you're just going to double click to open, and this is what you should have. Now, there's a few things you can do. And the first thing you want to do is, in order to stay in the solo matchmaking, you're going to turn off back to lobby and matchmaking. And then what you're going to do, I'm assuming most people have already done this, but if you haven't, you're going to match the placement of your units with here. So like, for example, Siren's going to be 4, Guts is 3, Stain is 3, Blood or Shaltier is 4, Bulma is 1, and then to verify and confirm it, you're just going to check mark all of these, do save config, and it's local. Now, there are a few other things you can do, and I'll show you what I recommend doing. First thing you're going to do is go to placement logic and make sure that is selected to spiral. After that, what you can do is you can go to upgrade priority units or upgrade priority. And what you're going to want to do is what I recommend doing is I recommend having your money units upgrade first. I typically recommend doing Speedwagon over Bulma since it'll be faster. And then, so once you have that in your first and second priority, you're going to do your hybrid unit, which should be your slot unit 1, your DPS unit, which should be your slot 2, and then 5 and 6 don't really matter. You can do one or the other. Since I'm doing a mainly bleed team, I would rather have Shaltier be prioritized over Stain. So now I have all of this ready. You can click enable and then close out of it. Last thing you can do, I typically don't mess around with it though, is a card upgrade priority. You can leave it as is. If you want to mess around with it, you can, but as far as from my experience, the default one works fine. So now that you have all your settings in place, what you're going to want to do is click F1, and it should put it in the window. And then from here, once you're in kind of this like I would say like spawn area, as long as your camera is like facing the summon area, just make sure so you can see that's the summon area. So similar position to this, you can start it by just clicking F2. And it should automatically teleport you. And you can, as you can see, it will put me in the booth here in just a second. Sometimes it doesn't always work first try, but it typically at the most takes a minute to get into the actual game. But the thing is, once you get into the game, it will automatically continue replaying it. All right. So now you'll see we're loaded into the game. Once it waits a few seconds just to make sure you're loaded, and then once after a few seconds passes by, you'll see it selects the start. It will dim out your camera. And then it should teleport you, move you to essentially the home base or your base. As you can see here, it will automatically pick the card, albeit it sometimes will be a little bit delayed. And then it should start the placement cycle here in just a second. Alright, yeah, so your boy messed up in the audio. I ended up cutting out for the last few seconds of footage, but I essentially just wanted to say that you can see it will automatically put you into the next game with the replay button. And I would like to mention that this is something you can do with multiple people. I've done it up just with I think 3 people, and it still worked really well. But obviously, I just wanted to show that you could do it by yourself, and that's all. And thank you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.